Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Amila P Sumanapala. So I'm here to present my work on exercise in the mountain zone of Sri Lanka. It was done to the fund from the foundation. So my co-authors, Talnu Ranjung and Iran Kumar, they have been working with me during the project. And just to give a brief introduction to start with, Sri Lankan dragonflies or damselflies, we collectively call them Odonata. We have 131 species, and they belong to 12 families and 67 genera. And among those, we have a very high endemic percentage, relatively very high endemic percentage. We have 45% endemism and in species, and also we have 8 endemic subspecies in the country. So just talking about the general distribution patterns, they are everywhere. They are pretty much everywhere. Dragonflies and damselflies you can find anywhere in the country. These are all the collective locations that we have recorded over the past 10 years, maybe throughout the island. So these are just recorded places. The empty places doesn't mean that there are no damselflies or dragonflies. It's just no one has recorded. So they are everywhere. The red color map shows the distribution of all species, while the green color map shows the distribution of endemic species. There you can see endemics are more often restricted to the wet zone and sometimes in the mountain zone. So moving on to the taxonomic diversity, I mentioned there are 12 families altogether, and certain families are completely endemic. You can see the red color ones are the endemic ones. Certain families have 100% endemism, while certain families do have less endemism and more general species which are distributed in the entire region of South Asia. And among those, there are 7 families of damselflies. Damselflies and dragonflies, to the beginners, just though we call them dragonflies in general, the slender ones are damselflies, while the bulkier ones are dragonflies. In Sinhala, we call them both Vatkura in general, but to dragonflies we call Vatkura and damselflies. There used to be a term called Lamismasan, but I no longer use that, but it doesn't make any sense. So now what we call it is Iratkura. So based on their shape. So altogether we have 12 families and 63 described species. Why I chose damselflies for the particular study is damselflies are kind of compared to dragonflies, their flight ability is a little bit less. And due to that reason, they have a high endemism, and there are many species that are restricted to certain ranges, certain areas. So they show very interesting biogeographic patterns. So that's why we focused on damselflies for this particular study. And they have high endemism. 2/3 of the species found in Sri Lanka are endemic, and there are 3 endemic subspecies as well. These are some of the common species, 2 common species and 1 rare species that can be found in the basically in the wet zone. The study was focused on the mountain zone. Why? Because mountain zone is a place where you get many endemics, and it's a place where you still have a lot to explore in Sri Lanka, and a place that are highly threatened. Most of the habitats in the mountain, most of the mountain forests are shrinking day by day, and there could be various threats ranging from human encroachment to climate change that are highly affecting the region. So what I considered as mountain zone in this particular study is 900 plus meters area. Why? Because most of that's where you can see the more mountain specific species. So ecologically, from an ecological point of view, based on different studies, different scientists call different altitude ranges as mountain. But for the particular study, based on the particular taxonomic group, I chose 900 plus. And this area, if you consider, there are several major mountain regions, and the aquatic habitats. Damselflies are usually associated with the aquatic habitats because they breed in aquatic habitats. They lay their eggs in aquatic plants or organic material. So the habitat types are basically fast flowing streams, small sea pages, as well as some mountain marshes. These are some general pictures. This is the view from Peak Wilderness Mountain Zone, Peak Wilderness Adams Peak Mountain Top, and this is the stream at about 1,600 meters elevation, again in the Peak Wilderness Sanctuary, and this is a river area that you can find in the lower mountain areas, larger rivers. Some of the main habitat site. Again, going to distribution status in the Sri Lankan dragonflies, we consider 9 different dragonfly zones. We call them autonatological zones. Autonatology means the study of dragonflies. So there are 9 different zones, and there are 4 zones in the mountain zone, and 1 zone. Some of the eastern parts of the mountain region is under the intermediate autonatological zone. You can see the map, just the general overview. So again, what we did is we selected 7 mountain ranges, and we did visual encounter surveys. We surveyed along the path and streams and recorded all the dragonfly species that were observed, and we documented everything. And also we collected water specimens for the some of the endemic species as well as any new species, any unidentified species that we encountered. So it was fun time. Going in the mountains, working with colleagues. So these are some of my colleagues. And we have, these are the all the places that we visited during the study period. So you can see these are my major study sites, and along we also surveyed areas around the mountain ranges. So these are all the locations that we visited. We did surveys, we walked along the streams, we recorded all the species that we encountered, and based on that, what we can say is, as I mentioned before, different mountain ranges have different type of life. In the major mountain ranges, there are specific species like this. You can see these 2 species indicated by red and green, red and blue, are confined to the Knuckles range and the surrounding mountains. Only there. These 2 species are completely endemic to the Knuckles mountain ranges and Candy Hills, little southern towards the Knuckles. So those are 2 species that we recorded all over the ranges. And also moving onward and to other mountain ranges, the Central Highlands have more widely distributed species. But again, these 2 species, they we call Philomosticta tropica and Philomosticta montana. They are also distributed only in this patch. They are not found in Knuckles or the Rampart Hills. They are only found in the Central Highlands and Namakura region. Right? So these are all the locations that we have encountered. And moving on, Peak Wilderness Mountain Zone, I have specially mentioned this. Why? Because Peak Wilderness Mountain Range is like the hottest hotspot in Vietnam. Right? You name the taxa, you have a huge diversity. Amphibians, reptiles, everything. You get so many different species restricted to this area. For the dragonflies and damselflies, it's the same. You can see a lot of dots here confined to a smaller area. If you zoom in, you can see this is basically the Puruvita trail. When you climb the mountain from Puruvita side, Iranda side, that's where I did most of my surveys. So you can see most of the reports are from there. What you can see is there are 6 different species that are confined to the Peak Wilderness Mountain range. I have shown them in these 2 slides. This is Philomosticta nansia, Philomosticta albisi, Philomosticta rupasingha, and Philomosticta budeli, Philomosticta species, Philomosticta species. So there are 6 species that are completely confined to this range. The interesting fact is, when you move along the mountains, you get different species at different altitudes. Right? You can see the blue dots are confined to the low altitude ranges. Green is 300 to 900, then this is 900 to 1500. When you move along that area, you started getting purple ones, this one, and then you started getting red ones, the Philomosticta, other species, this one, albisi. So they have a niche partitioning along the range, along different altitudes, which is really visible, really observable when you do dragonfly surveys in Peak Wilderness Mountain range. So as you go along the path, as you move towards the peak, you have different species. And out of that, 2 species we encountered are currently undescribed. And yeah, apart from that, there are 1 more species that is known from this range. It is recorded somewhere a little southern to this area. It's called Silonospita subtropica, but this has only been recorded in 1933. There was a recent publication regarding the rediscovery, but I personally, as a researcher, I'm not sure about, not too keen about the identification. So what we believe is this species is still a kind of missing. We have no records of the species. And moving further south, you get the Rockport Hills, the upper part of the Single forest area. There again, we encountered two distinct species which are currently taxonomically undescribed. Again, towards moving towards eastern side, the Haputale mountain range, Haputale mountains near Tangamale sanctuary. Again, there are two species shown in here. You can see the orange one is widespread in the central and peak wilderness zone, while the red color one is confined to the Haputale. This one is we thought that these two belong to the same species, which is known as smoky winged red-tail, Electnura leucostigma. But the recent survey shows that the Haputale population is distinct, morphologically distinct from this one. But these differences are you have to do very detailed observation. Just by looking at you can't really see. So to a beginner's eye, you might not recognize them as different, but you examine the details, they are different from each other. So taxonomic work regarding this is going on. So we have encountered 6 potentially new species to science during the survey, and we have collected specimens, and the taxonomic work is currently ongoing. Apart from that, one of the most interesting findings of the project was the discovery of new population of this particular anthropomorphic species, known as Syncalestus orientalis, called Sri Lanka emerald threatening, which we believe to be confined to the peak wilderness mountain zone. This area, you can see the yellow dot. This is where it was first described from groundwater. That's where it has been first collected in 1858 and described in 1862. And then it was the second record, the next record was in 2012. So after 150 years, we recorded this from peak wilderness mountain range. And it was regularly reported from peak wilderness range throughout the years. I have been studying this species for since its rediscovery. And the recent work, we have found 2 populations at 2 other locations as well. So it seems that this species, even though we did not recognize it as source, it is kind of, it has a wider distribution than what was believed earlier.
Yes.
So
the second session.
Yeah. Moving on, just by looking at all the observations, we can say we have recorded 37 species of non-species of damsel fly from the mountain of Sri Lanka, and with the undescribed species, a total of 43 species have been recorded. And among those, 13 are entirely confined to the mountains, and including the 6 undescribed species. So 19 out of the 63, 70, let's say, with the new ones, okay. So like little bit like 25% of the Sri Lankan damsel flies are completely confined to the mountains. Looking at their conservation status, the recent we compiled the recent IUCN conservation status update. We did a 2020 update, the global update, not the national one. The last national update was in 2012, which was published by the Ministry of Environment with the Biodiversity Secretariat, and the recent global status was updated last year and published in January 2021. So based on that, a collective summarization of both assessments, because for the IUCN 2020 assessment, we only assess the endemic form of Sri Lanka. But in the mountains, you get non-endemic species as well. So I collectively took them together. So we can see there are 6 critically endangered species, 12 endangered, and 6 species, the undescribed species, remain to be not evaluated at the moment, because you need to identify and name the species before you assess the conservation status, assess an official conservation status. You can say definitely all these 6 species were confined to single mountain range, so they will be assessed as critically endangered species in the future once they are fully described. And major threat, I mentioned that some of there are major threats in the mountain zone, and one probable scenario that we are all looking at is climate change. So one part of the study was to determine the shift of their distribution range based on predicted climatic data. So we did some assessment. The work is still ongoing with some other work that we are collectively doing. So what we did is we used Maxent modeling. It was discussed yesterday. We used Maxent modeling and we compared the current distribution range of these species with the probable distribution based on the predicted data in 2026. Right? So there's a general trend of range swing. The ranges seems to swing as a general pattern, but not in huge area differences. Like these are two different maps showing the distribution of Elanura leucostigma, the smoking per tail. This is the current distribution, and this is the distribution that was predicted for 2050. So you can see there are certain changes, like this patch has shrunk, this red color patch has shrunk a little bit. So this is also shrinking. So there's a slight change going on, which is predicted. One might say this is not significant comparing the two pictures; they look pretty much similar. But if you look at looking at from a management point of view, we are talking about 30 years. We are talking about 30-year difference, and a species that has evolved over millions of years. So just by 30 years, if it's losing 5% of the habitat, yes, we have to take it into account. So this study, this portion of the study is still ongoing. With some of the other work that we are doing, we are going to work on it in the future. So, and again, these are general threats and diversity as well. So, as part of the report project, we also did capacity building program. Last year, year before that, 2020, we conducted a very successful capacity building program on a field workshop on dragonflies of Sri Lanka. It was conducted in Rajavain Forest, the Butterfly Conservation Society of Sri Lanka. And there were 25 student participants and 5 participants from the Forest Department of Sri Lanka, where we had an intensive program based on field work, based on lectures, discussions. You can see some of these pictures. So it was a fun program. I enjoyed doing that around. So this is the general outcome of my study and the conservation capacity building work that we have done. Some of the taxonomic work is still ongoing. So in the years to come, in the time to come, we are doing molecular taxonomic studies. We are looking at molecular taxonomic work in the future. So maybe this year, next year, they will also be. So acknowledgement. I thank Dr. Devakovic, my supervisor and my principal advisor throughout the period, and the Butterfly Conservation of Sri Lanka, University of Colombo, where I am doing my postgraduate, and the Foundation of Course, and the Department of Wildlife Conservation, and Forest Department for their permit, and all my companions who have joined me doing that. So I end my presentation usually with this particular thought, just to not related to study, but just to inspire everyone. Every step of political diversity is priceless, to be learned and cherished, and never to be surrendered without a struggle. You have to study everything. You have to study every component of biodiversity. This was taught by Edward Wilson, who passed away very recently. So, yeah, thank you everyone for the attention.